CAOC's 2025 Street Fighter of the Year finalists all faced insurmountable odds and achieved seemingly impossible victories, taking on colossal defendants, like a healthcare giant.
You got to dig beneath the surface and keep looking at all the evidence and expose what was really going on.
A wealthy landowner.
It's not just us here advocating for success. It is our families and our colleagues that help support us and spur us forward to do the right thing.
And even the U.S. government.
If something upsets you enough, then stand up and do something about it, and you will never regret it.
David DeRobertis faced off with Kaiser Permanente after one of their nurses was fired in what he saw as a clear-cut case of retaliation.
We represented a 30-year charge nurse of Kaiser Woodland Hills who was terminated after she raised a series of concerns of patient safety being compromised, largely because Kaiser's decision to chronically understaff its nursing units.
Maria Gachillian was fired after a photo of her surfaced taking a break in the NICU with her feet up on an incubator.
Maria agreed ultimately that she violated policy by doing that, but the case really showed that using this as an excuse to terminate her was retaliation, because we showed that ultimately Kaiser did not discipline many nurses who did far worse things than Maria did, but who themselves were not blowing the whistle about patient care and understaffing in the unit.
Maria had filed complaint after complaint that Kaiser's understaffing was undermining patient care at a dangerous level. DeRobertis and his team took Kaiser to trial and not only won the case, but a huge punitive award.
I think what this case really showed was how nurses are truly the front-line protectors of patient safety. And the number one job of a nurse in a hospital is to feel safe standing up for and reporting concerns about quality of care and patient safety. Maria did that, and they terminated her for doing that. And I think it showed how important nurses are as truly the heroes in these hospitals that protect patient safety.
Charles Roseman and Richard Prager are champions for the disabled. They represented Kathleen Sauerman, who tripped on a railing and took a bad fall while celebrating her 60th birthday at a San Diego restaurant. Complications from the fall ultimately cost her her life.
What this case is about is our novel and groundbreaking effort to bring federal ADA and related California corollary claims in superior courts of California to invest the loved ones of deceased disabled people killed by, in this case, a disabled barrier in a bar, the right to remove or correct the barrier that killed their loved one that does not exist in federal court.
The restaurant argued it had no responsibility to fix the problem because it couldn't harm Kathleen anymore as she had passed away. The court agreed and even hit Richard with a sanction of nearly $100,000.
The facts of this case are repugnant to us. The idea that a defendant could come forward and then try to use the death that they caused of a disabled people to prevent them from correcting their own property, to make it accessible to other disabled people, does not sit well with us and those that we work with.
It didn't sit well with CAOC either. Our attorneys filed an amicus brief in the case, and the decision and the sanction were overturned at appeal.
Next time you get your CAOC statement and you're reviewing it to decide if you want to renew, I have 98,852 reasons for you to renew or join CAOC.
Joe McMullen faced down the U.S. government over an immoral and unlawful detention of kids at the border.
This involved a family, 9-year-old Julia and 14-year-old Oscar, both U.S. citizens who live in Tijuana with their mom and dad, and they cross every day to go to school like many children do.
Because of a speck on her passport photo, border agents decided she didn't match her picture.
They basically held both of them in captivity, ultimately taking them to an underground detention area and eventually coerced confessions out of Julia and her brother.
14-year-old Oscar spent 14 hours isolated in detention. His sister Julia was held for 33 hours. U.S. attorneys said the kids just made up a story. Any recordings of them in custody mysteriously disappeared.
Those videos would have showed that the children were interrogated in rooms by customs officers alone. Not just that the children were alone, but that even the customs officers were in there by themselves without another officer witnessing what was going on. What is the message that's being sent to her? That she's a second-class U.S. citizen? We don't have those in this country. If you are born on U.S. soil, then you are a U.S. citizen with all the rights and privileges of citizenship.
Because the U.S. Supreme Court recently ruled damage claims against Customs and Border Patrol agents can't go to a jury trial, McMullen took his case to a federal judge and won.
One of the greatest honors of my life and my career was that after half a decade of litigating this case and after knowing Julia and Oscar and Thelma for years, 9-year-old Julia celebrated her quinceañera. And it was just such a beautiful moment to see her celebrating her Mexican heritage and her U.S. citizenship, and to feel that really what our country is about and what she can embrace is that she can celebrate both of those things.
Fighting for nurses, fighting for the disabled, fighting for children, and winning on behalf of all Californians. It's what Consumer Attorneys of California do, and we celebrate your finalists for 2025's Street Fighter of the Year.